Just put the steaks in the bag, shook them up, got them marinating.
First off, we can shout out our sponsors, Happy Tap.
Yeah, shout out to Happy
Tell us
Tap.
about Happy Tap, would
What do
you?
you
As
got,
of right
bro?
now, this is our only sponsor so far. Happy Tap is responsible for the house, and the food, and the drinks, and my clothes. And
They
my
really
car.
love it.
So what you're saying is you're the sponsor.
It's looking good.
So far, Happy Tap is providing a lot.
So you're the sponsor.
If anyone else wants to hop on and
Thank
get
you,
with
Happy
the
Tap.
boys, you too could be a part of this world.
Ooh, yeah, true.
Hey, I've been
the
there.
Marinators.
To the tap.
I've been to Happy Tap.
I've lived with Bret for 5 years. Known this dude, talked to him almost every day, and never been to the tap.
Hey,
I guess kids getting away with that.
He's been to
but-
Colorado though.
Yeah, been to Colorado.
Been
Been
to
to Colorado
Colorado
Springs, but never
Springs, baby.
to the tap.
I thought Bret was like 45 the first time I saw him. At Savannah State in the summer series. I roll up to practice.
Wearing the milkman shirt every day.
Yeah, I was
I
working for
It's all right.
Prospect Select, and they're like, yeah, we got 2 new guys. And I walk out there, and it's Sherm and Bret.
that's a crew, bro.
And Bret's obviously like a large human. I'm like, long hair, you know, his ponytail's rocking. I'm like, who is this guy? Where did we get Tarzan? Turned out all right. Here we
I
are.
didn't think he was gonna make it for a while. I didn't think he was gonna stay around very long.
You already had his character.
Knew nothing about you. And then we had the, I don't know if you remember, they did like the Rita's truck, like the second day of the summer series. I talked to you a little bit, but like it's crazy to fast forward now. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, learned a lot in that time.
It's also crazy too. Just looks are insane. Like long hair, ponytail, huge beard, and you're like, who is that guy? And then all of a sudden it's like short. Like Fish is hilarious. When Fish had perm and curly hair, and it was like long, you're like, oh, it's Fish, and then now it's like straight hair, short, despite the front. You're like, who is that?
That's
It's
hilarious.
like totally different vibe.
I remember too that year, Bret came. Like this is perfect time to tell this story. I never told this story to like a camera or anything. I've told a lot of people, but Bret came in 2019. We're in the American Association, and I had just got the Indy Ball. It was like my second year of Indy Ball, and anybody in Indy Ball, we got crazy stories. It's just like it's kind of like banana land. Like anybody can be there. You know, like everybody's playing ball. It's fun. In 2019, we're in Sioux City, Iowa. I'll never forget. We called our manager's like, we got this dude coming in. He's gonna start tonight. Like he's gonna start. He played with my son in college. Like our manager, it was Jim Bennett. Jim Bennett at the time. His son TJ was our second baseman, and they went to college at Utah together. So random. But Bret, I guess, recently was let go from the Pirates org. Comes to Sioux City. Pitches, I think he gives up like 9 or 10 runs in 2 innings. And I'm like, who is this dude, bro? He's got long hair, caveman, Tarzan, long hair, big old beard, huge beard, and he's just sitting on the bench like that sucks, like whatever. Same Bret, same thing. So like game goes on, we get back to Fargo. And once we get to Fargo, I didn't have living like technically in my contract, so I was in this apartment. I had a vacant room, so I moved in. I didn't want a host family. Like I was an adult. I was like, I don't want to move in a host family. So I'm in this room. It's a 3-bedroom apartment. I'm with who was it at the time? Was it Filomeno, Joe Filomeno, and CJ Jacobs. And Bret comes on the trip with us after Sioux City, and he's like, this is my room. And I'm like, wait a second. You just gave up 10 runs. I don't know you. Who are you? And you kicking me out of the room? And I look, I'm like, dang, I don't have living like in my contract. So technically it's his room. And you know, everybody's all passive aggressive there. The GM or whoever at the time was like, yeah, just tell Prime, you know, it's your room. You go in the room. So whatever. He goes in the room. I'm like, well, I ain't leaving. Like, I'm going in the living room. So I got a mattress, put it in the living room, and that was my room. So like days go by, Bret's still just same consistent himself. And then that year, I don't know, it ended up being the most fun year ever, right? So that was 2019. 2020 was COVID. We were the first league to be playing ball that next year in COVID. 2020, Bret and I are roommates again. Like we hit it off in 2019. We lived 2020, then we come back 2021, back to Fargo again, live together again, and spend all our time together. And then 2022, I believe it was, I got traded to Milwaukee, and Bret was still going back to Fargo. He re-signed to Fargo. So you guys played in Milwaukee, right? You seen the turf stuff, yeah. So I go to Milwaukee. I'm living in Milwaukee. That's when I decided to like start pitching. Yeah. Fargo comes to Milwaukee, and I'm struggling in Milwaukee at the time. It's an impossible place to hit. Like, there's no batter's eye. The place is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm hitting like 220 games in. Fargo comes. I don't know why I'm picking on Bret, the story, but he struggled that out in 2 against Milwaukee. And after the game, I guess he got put on waivers, and Milwaukee signed him. So Fargo let him go. Milwaukee signed him right after. We're walking back to the clubhouse. And my manager at the time, he's like, "Yo, Prime, we got your boy. Like, we got your boy." He's like Prime's about to rake now. Like, Bret's here. Like, Bret's here. Everything's good. Prime's gonna rake. Start raking. So, long story short.
Were you guys boys at this point?
Yeah, we're like brothers at this point.
I didn't know if he still just stole your room.
No.
This was 3 years in.
This is 3 years in.
Okay.
3 years in. So,
But the first year he was an all-star. The second year he almost won the batting title.
Right.
The third year he almost wins the batting title.
Right.
So both of those, like, I'm dominating the bullpen. I'm dominating starting. He's the best player in the league.
Yeah.
And then, like, we break up, and then we were both trash.
maybe it was. We
Terrible.
broke up. Like, they
And,
broke
like,
us up.
We broke up.
And they try to sweeten it, like, because if you're, like, kind of somebody in indie ball, like, you get the smallest perks, but it's kind of nice having, like, a little something.
Yeah.
So, like, the managers come to you, they're like, "Hey, dude, we love you, but, like, you're getting paid too much to not play good. Like, tell me where you want to go. They're like, we'll trade you." So I was like, well, you know where I want to go.
Right,
It's easy.
right.
So then, like, same thing. I go out, pitch terrible, and they're like, "Hey, let's say
You were perfect storm,
because they're like, oh, they're back together." So then we both get to Milwaukee. We open up in Cleburne, the hottest, most horrible place ever.
Cleburne, Texas.
Cleburne,
Texas.
Turf.
That sounds horrible.
Turf too, bro.
Turf. It's so hot.
Hot.
So we go down. My first outing out there, like 6 shutty in relief, and like he had like 2 doubles. So the first game I'm down there,
We're the
had like
Kings.
8 punchies, and we're back together. They're like, "This is the best trade in the history."
It's like, we are back.
Like, this is insane. We're like, we're back to it.
Funny,
And it was cool. So then, but they're like, they literally traded me just so he would play better.
Hilarious.
Like, they had to dump me because
And it
I was
worked.
like finally on a big salary.
Yeah.
And if you're on a big salary and you're not posting, you're gone. Like, if you're paid like the best player, you're not playing like it, you're either cut or you're restructuring or something because you're out of there.
And when we say big salary, like, let's don't think too big, right? Like, big salary in the AA, you're making $2K, you're like a king in the AA.
Because there's caps, like you can't make over a certain amount. So like,
caps, yeah.
and like you'll get a raise or something, and like the highest paid player in the whole league is like $500 more than the next dude.
Yeah.
So like you're sitting there and they're like, "Oh, I don't know, this cap is like too high." You're like,
Yeah.
What
do you mean, bro? Let me have fun with my boys.
Milwaukee offered me the rookie contract for
you're in
2021. I was playing here in summer ball. We had like 2 weeks left. We were in the playoffs, and I was all excited at first. And you know, the offer I wasn't super excited about the money, but I was like, I get to play pro ball, you know.
Yeah.
And at first I was gonna go. I had a broken hand, but I was still gonna go, which I would have got cut in a week. Like, you know, it wouldn't have gone well.
if you're not playing.
But I ended up staying to try to win the championship, which we ended up doing. But I called the Milwaukee guy and I said, "Hey, I'm not coming. I'm going to stay here and play summer ball with the Bananas collegiate summer ball." And he just laughed at me and said, "Okay, bye." I mean, it all worked out.
That's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right, yeah.
But yeah, he laughed at me on the phone and hung up.
Indie ball, man. We can go on for days with indie ball, but it's funny. You go back to the caveman thing, Savannah State.
And now it's me. Now I'm the caveman.
No doubt. But Bret leaves Milwaukee middle of the year in 22, and I'm like, "Where you gonna go?" He's walking in the locker room. He's like, "I guess I'm gonna go to Savannah." Like, this dude drives like a trucker, bro. He should have a CDL.
Yeah.
He hops in the car and drives like nobody I've ever met. Yeah.
Milwaukee to there.
He looks at me. He's like, "I guess I'm gonna go to Savannah." They called me. I want to head down there and see what that's
Did
about.
Barry call you? How did you get in
Yeah,
there?
he DM'd me, and so like he was like, "Hey, do you got time for a phone call?" And I was like, "Sure," because so then same thing, like you get these like little perks. So like Milwaukee was like, "Hey, we love you, they love you, everyone in the league loves you." They're like, "We're not gonna just cut you." They're like, "But if we can put you on revocable waivers, we can reclaim you as much as we want."
Yeah.
So if the last place team claims you and you don't want to go there, they just re-sign you and then they put you back on. You skip that last team. So I had told them there was like 3 teams that I would like to go to, and they were all like in the top 5 positions in the league. So I would have to go through every position in the league to get to where I wanted to go. So you get back on waivers. Then the 10th place team would take you, and I'd be like, I don't want to go there. They'd reclaim you. Then I'd go back on. The 8th place team would claim you. You'd go, I don't want to go there. You'd go back, get back off. So I was on and off revocable waivers like 5 times in the same week. So if Milwaukee was being really cool with me by saying like, hey, we're not just going to release you, and we want you to go where you want to go. And like it was just like, so then Barry calls me and said, why have you been on and off waivers like 6 times in the last week? And I was like, well, I'm playing terrible, and the people that want me are more terrible than I'm playing. I don't want to go there. I was like, so I'm kind of waiting for either Kansas City, Fargo, or Winnipeg to sign me. And I was like, if they want to, then I'll go there. But if not, I'm just going to be done. And he was like, well, you want to come to Bananas? And I was like, absolutely not. Because I knew like 2 guys that were on it. And
Next
the guys
episode.
I knew were just not like pro ball players. And I knew it was kind of silly. And I saw you dancing and all this stuff. And I was like,
I was going to ask
I'm
your
a
initial
pro ball
thoughts.
guy. I can't do that. And so he was like, well, hold on. So he starts telling me, he's like, we've got a documentary going. We've got 6 games on ESPN. We're doing this. And he kind of like shared a little vision. And I was like, well, right now I got no job. I was like, no one wants to sign me. I was like, I don't want to just hang around here on waivers until my dream team signs me. I was like, I might as well go down. So I was like, in 6 weeks, let's see what it is. Drive down, go through that Savannah.
Where did you live?
The host family.
Oh, okay.
So they so I was the host family for those 6 weeks. But like, just like you guys know, like if you go from wherever it was of just like you're taking little tiny good things and making it seem like it's really cool, where you're like, oh, it's not so bad here because like it's really not. But then you look at like the difference of like how it could be and like the amazing things that can go on. It really is a very big drastic difference. So like even pro ball, you got all this, and I'm 8 years in, like I'm indie ball vet and like a affiliated guy, and you get to Savannah and like the game's just like they captivate. It's too exciting. It's way too fun. It's loud. It's insane, and you're like, I don't care what it would be to like play here, money wise or what it would take. It's like you have to do it because it's just like so insane. It's so exciting. Yeah. And so like I left. Those it was 6 games, and it was like I'm in. That's it.
I went 6-0.
Yeah, you guys crushed us.
I won't name any names, but I had the one showdown where your catcher waited for me. I just went touched whole place to white.
Who did that last year? Who did that last year to Brian?
Were you there?
Brad.
But dude, so we're 5-0 in the summer series, and then after the fourth game, they changed a rule. They made every run in the last inning counts. Because honestly, like, try to help them.
They were trying to make us win. Like
the Party Animals are very, very good now, but at the time they were down. They were down.
A little startup.
Yeah, they were down. I think it was the first year it was really a thing. But so we're up 4-0. They make that rule, and then that rule ends up just burning them in Game 5.
The very next game, like we put it in place. They were like, we're gonna win.
They're up like 3-2, and then we score like 7 in the 9th, and every one of them counted. So it ended up being a blowout. And then Game 6, I don't think you were pitching. I think it was Acuff, because there's a picture. You're like this at the plate. Yeah. So Acuff's starting the showdown, and I hit a ball that should have been a guaranteed out. Like I didn't hit it bad, but I was out. And the catcher is waiting there. He's just standing on home plate, so I like act like I'm giving
on
up.
Home plate.
Yeah. And then I just like drop, like let my whole body flop, and I sneak my foot in. And Vince goes save. And there's pictures, like all of them, all the Party Animals are like this. And then the next picture is Vince going like this, and I think Bret's like hands on it.
What was in the AVR? It's
that clip.
It was like
really more.
Remember when Bronny sat on the plate?
Yeah.
And then Rat like snuck it in?
Yeah.
Same thing, because like
crazy.
he's running, they both stop, and like he's out. He can't go anywhere. He's not running, and Dan just goes like.
I think that was the moment where Bret was like, I'm going to take this team on. I'm going to lead these guys.
Dalton, did you play for Party Animals ever?
No, I never played
Just
Party
Bananas.
Animals, only Bananas.
What was your first year?
2021.
2021.
Yeah,
I remember we
breakfast
talked when I
bowl.
got here, but I don't remember.
Yeah, we did
What
breakfast
was
bowl.
that? Breakfast
The
bowl.
breakfast bowl.
That's when Bill got verified. Dalton came and Bill got verified.
Breakfast bowl.
I remember me and Bill were on the
cow.
bus, and I was like, you can like submit to get verified if you
Yeah.
want. And Bill just had like some crazy play at third, wasn't it? Like a ground
It
ball.
was
You called.
Announce yourself
I
and
was-
then the play.
Yeah, there's two things that happened that summer. One is the thing I do now, the whole clap,
Okay.
and like now introducing myself.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Blew up, went crazy.
Blew up and went crazy.
Crazy.
Jesse walked in the locker room one day and he was like, "Who wants to announce herself to the plate?" And I was like, "I'll do it. I don't care. Sign me up."
But this is also against like for like playoff seeding. So
Right,
he's doing
okay,
it. He's
okay.
not doing it in a banana ball.
Yeah, this
game.
is a
Oh, thanks, actually.
CPL.
Yeah.
This is CPL.
Yeah, and he's doing it.
This
That's
game counts. It
crazy.
matters. And he calls me a mic in the on deck circle. I was like, I don't even know what I'm about to say. I didn't rehearse. I was on top of the brain. From Dublin, Georgia, University of North Georgia alumni.
Yeah.
Myself. And I held the mic up like this, and somebody got a picture. Next thing I know, 2 days later, I was on a T-shirt holding the mic up like this. Yeah, bro, that video went.
That is crazy.
Video-
So that's 21.
That was in 21.
Yeah,
That
in the
video
Breakfast
went
Bowl.
viral on ESPN. It was on
Wow.
Snapchat. First thing
Yeah.
you pulled up.
Bro, that is fun.
And but then the next play, I was at third base. This is
Yeah.
back when I was playing infield.
yeah.
I was playing third, and I was mic'd up. Dearman's on the bump, and I called the whole play, the whole
Yeah.
pitch. I said, Dearman's going to throw a front door slider. He's going to roll it over. I'm going to catch it on the second hop on a backhand. Manny Machado underhand throw to first base. And as I said first base,
Oh my.
front door slider, second hop, backhand, Manny Machado, underhand throw. Hit him in the chest. I finished the play. I was on the mic with Vico up top.
Yeah.
And I was just right underneath the broadcasting area up there. And I was just like, Vico, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Like-
Don't forget, Bill.
Crazy.
I've never heard that.
So the
That's crazy.
Breakfast Bowl, that was the first time we met you too.
Yeah.
This was like a week, maybe a week after we just won the CPL championship,
Yeah.
which honestly at that time in my career was like the highlight. I never won a championship. Like, and it was good competition, so we were on top of the world.
Dude.
And then they're like, yeah, come play in the Breakfast Bowl. You know, it was the first time I was getting paid to play baseball.
Yeah.
Couple bucks,
Yeah.
nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But we walk out there, and it was Strickland was running practice, and me and Bill were at shortstop. And we looked at each other. I swear to God, true story. We looked at each other and nodded, and we said, "Our careers are over."
That's true, bro.
And then, you know, we say that,
Yeah.
and Bill goes viral.
No doubt, yeah.
But we literally looked at each other and said, "Our careers
Dude,
are over."
this- dude,
It went from the highest high, like we're all crying, we
That's
won the championship, and
crazy.
3 days later, I'm like,
Restart.
we're really
Hard.
done. Like, it's time to start job
Hard restart,
We were playing Macon 3 times on the weekend.
Yeah, we
We were just going. We played Macon.
only
They
play
would play
Macon.
us.
We'd
It was
go-
like two men's
Bro.
leagues team thrown together.
Yeah, we would literally go there, play them, we'd come back, they play us. We'd go over there, we'd play them, they'd come back, we'd
I was
play them.
pitching. I said, Strickland, let me close this game. And I came in, we're up like 12. And Josh Lavender is playing shortstop. And I'm facing like a 40-year-old man. Not kidding. Like, this guy was a
Man.
construction. He was a
Yeah.
construction worker.
Man, yeah.
Snow white hair, huge beard. And I'm max effort out there, dude. And I'm max effort. So I go 3-0 on him, and Strickland calls timeout. Jesse's freaking out. Jesse's pacing up and down.
Yeah.
Because I'm throwing balls. The game's taking forever. People are leaving.
This is real baseball.
Yeah.
We got a mound.
This is a true story.
Malvis.
And now I've known Jesse for a while, so I'm like, he'll be okay. I don't
Yeah.
get the pitch.
Yeah.
Strickland comes out. He's like, all right, calm down. I'm like, all right, you're right. Like, I need to slow down. So I throw 2 strikes. It's 3-2. I throw this kid another fastball, and he hits a ball that went to the fire station. And he hit it. And I'm just like, I'm 23 years old. This guy's 40 to 45. And I turned around, and I made eye contact with Lavender. He was playing shortstop, and I just said, holy. I didn't even watch where the ball went. And everybody everybody was just hysterical laughing.
Yes, bro.
It was unbelievable.
And we won the golden sport.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We won the golden
That's what we
sport.
played for. It was called the Golden Sport.
It was a big sport.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
a
I
big
forgot about
wooden
that.
sport.
That was the sport.
It's spray paint roll.
Sport.
The breakfast bowl. We won the
Bacon
sport.
and
Bro,
bananas?
that is
It was
funny.
perfect.
That's funny.
And that's
It
when
was
I
a
gained
golden
a new
sport.
respect for pitching.
It was
Yeah.
hid,
I
it was
like,
behind,
alright,
it was
this
hid
ain't
behind
as
the
easy
right
as-
field wall.
That's
It
hilarious.
was hid in the right field corner, bro. It sat there for years.
That is
So it was
funny.
after CPL championship, and everyone was just around, and you guys were just playing.
they
Were you
asked-
on that team, dog? The
they asked-
CPL?
I
Did you
never played
take
CPL.
No.
Never played for CPL.
Okay. So you
I
joined
came here-
Breakfast Bowl.
I came here like August 2021. So
Well,
we
Jesse
started.
had been hitting you up for years, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you? You told me you were in St. John's River.
I went to
Yeah.
College Central Florida,
Okay.
and then I went to actually I took a year off after College Central Florida because I
Yeah.
went to like 6 schools on visit and I didn't like any of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, well, all right,
I'm gonna take some time.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I was like, I'm just gonna take some time off. My arm was hurting, so I
Mhm.
went down south, got a job at TGI Fridays with one of my buddies.
Really? I didn't know that about
Bro,
you.
best job ever. I'm serious.
Why didn't you go back?
TGI.
Why didn't you go back?
After this, I'm not
Best job ever.
dude. It really was. It
That
was
Jack
so
Daniels
fun.
sauce fire.
The JD Glaze. I got JD
Glaze,
Glaze.
bro. That's minor league staple.
It was-
TGI.
Bro, we had the Red Sox minor league team came in all the time.
That's funny.
And they'd have more than like 6 people, so gratuity was added. But you
Okay.
never- hey, but you don't tell them, and they tip on top of that.
Okay.
You're like, yeah, come on in, boys.
At least they took, bro. Baseball players.
You were a waiter.
They usually
I was a
don't
waiter.
tip.
Nice.
I wanted to be a bartender, and he's like, basically me and my buddy, we walked in, and we had already went to Chili's and Applebee's, and we walked in trying to get jobs. We moved to Fort Myers. We were there for like a month.
Chili's banged you, bro?
Well, here's that.
You'd be a staple at Chili's.
We were there for a month in Fort Myers, and I was like, yeah, we need to probably get jobs now. Like, we had to pay for rent. We couldn't make whatever we had no money either, but we looked like 10 different places to get an apartment.
Mhm.
Couldn't do it. The final one, it was like 6 o'clock right before they closed up. And we're like, hey, we need a place to live. Doesn't matter what it looks like, we just need a place to live. And she's like, okay, well you have to make at least this much. And we're like, we don't even have jobs. And the lady's like, well that's not gonna work. And I'm like, no, it has to work.
We're gonna
It's
get
like,
jobs.
we're gonna get jobs. We don't have money now. And she's like, can anybody sign off on it? And I was like, no. Like, you just have to trust us that we're gonna get a job and let us live here. And she was like, I can't do that, sir. And I'm like, no. Trust me, you have to.
You're gonna do
Like,
it.
you're our last
Yeah.
resort.
Yeah.
Like, please. And she's like, all right. So she let us move in.
Shout out to her, bro.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
I wish I knew who that was,
That's
but
like,
we moved in like a week later or whatever. We were there for like a month, and I was like, yeah, we should probably get some jobs, man, because our money was running low, and we lived at a pretty nice place. I think it was like $700 a piece or something like that for a 2-bedroom. It was really nice, and so we're like, all right, let's go. So we drive in. He's like, what are you gonna work at? I was like, I don't know. And he's like maybe like something like a cool atmosphere, a bar or something. I was like, all right, we see Chili's. Pull in there and we're like, hey, walk in, see the host. Like, what can I help you with? And we're like, can we get a job? And she's like, do you fill out the form online? And we're like, no. She goes, all right, we'll fill that in and come back out. And we're like, all right. So we walk out. We're like, all right, let's get out of here. Next place. We go to Applebee's. We walk in, say the same thing. The host's like, all right, there's a form online, fill it out. And we're like, all right, sounds good. We left, didn't do it. We're driving around, and then there was
Why didn't you just do the form?
too much work. I wanted a job, not a form.
To be honest, I don't know. It was just kind of like front
Just
time.
didn't feel right.
He
Didn't
wanted
feel
a job,
right. Yeah.
not to sign a form.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
We wasted too much time.
And I needed a job like that day. And so, we're going around in this place. It was TGI Fridays at Bell Tower, where it was. We're on the way home. And we walk in. I was like, Garrett, tell me to do the form. And we're like, all right. So we walk in. And the same thing, she's like, did you do the form? And we're like, first thing I said was like, we tried, it didn't work. And she's like, all right, I'll go get Stan. So,
You still remember the guy's name, Stan?
Stan, he's awesome.
Wow.
You can't forget a stand.
Stan for Stan.
Yeah, you can't forget
I'll
a
get a
stand.
few of those.
You can't
Yeah,
forget
I know, for real. I remember Stan and Jesse were the 2 bosses, and Stan walks out, he's like, what's up, guys? And we're like, hey. And he's like, what can I help you with? We're like, we want a job. And he's like, all right, what do you guys want to do? We're like, we want to be bartenders. And he's like, you ever bartended before? We're like, nope. And, and Stan was like, all right, come over here. So we sat down, because he always like to do the form. We're like, yeah, it didn't work, and he's like, all right, yeah, come over here. So we sat down, started talking to him. Like he played football in college. His brother played baseball. Super cool guy. He's like, what are y'all doing? And I'm like, well, I mean, we're here for like 10 months. We were playing college baseball, plan on going back, and we're just here for right now.
Right.
He's like, so you need a job for like a year? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you gonna be a bartender? And I was like, yeah. He goes, but you never bartended before. I was like, no. And so he was like, all right, let's just start you off as a waiter. And he's like, you ever done that? We're like, nope. And he's like, let's just do that. And I was like, okay. He's like, you work your way up. Because it was like host and then waiter. And we said, we don't want to be a host.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
And so he's like, well, I like you guys. All right, when can you start? And he's like, we're like, tomorrow. And he's like, all right, tomorrow. So we get there the next day. And Stan was like, all right, I'm going to teach you guys. You do all the training. He's like, I'm going to teach you guys about the bar. And we're like, all right. I might have told you this already. But he was like, all right, what do you guys know? Like, what's your favorite beer? And I was like, I have no clue. And
El Jefe, Jefe,
yeah. And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, all right, we've got a lot of explaining to do. So me and Garrett are sitting there. We're just sitting at the bar. We try all the beer. We try all the whiskey, all the tequila, all the gin. We try everything. And
How much are they service sizes Stan's giving you?
like a shot, I guess.
Oh.
Dude, maybe not a full shot of everything, but
Next thing you know, we're playing. I'm the whole stand
Enter in a frat, bro.
We're playing two-hand touch football in the parking lot with Stan.
yes, dude, it was so
Best
fun.
training shift.
And so we're trying everything, and you know we tried like the whiskey, we tried the tequila, we tried the alcohol, tried the rum, and then me and Garrett sit next to each other, and Sam's behind the bar. He loves this stuff. He's teaching us everything, and we're not retaining any of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's in one ear out the other, and so at this point I'm like, bro. Like, how are you feeling? He's like, I feel the same way as you. And so we finished that up, whatever, and then I was like, hopefully
Started serving tables.
Yeah. He's like, I was like, hopefully we're almost done, right? And Garrett's like, yeah, we gotta be done. And then so we're sitting there, we're waiting, and Stan's like, I'll be right back. He's like, all right, we're about to wrap it up. I'm like, all right. So then he's like, he comes back, he goes, oh, I forgot to show you the gin. And then I'm like, oh my God. And so at that point,
How
like,
old is Stan?
I don't know.
Really? Guess.
He's a bro.
40.
Yeah.
40.
Yeah.
Awesome dude.
Likes the party.
But maybe. And so anyways, we finished up, and he's like, oh yeah, well, you guys are good to go. We'll see y'all tomorrow. And I was like,
What?
go where? And Stan was like, you guys are good. Like, that's all I'm training for today. And I was like, Stan, we can't leave, man. we gotta stay here.
We gotta marinate a little
Yeah,
bit.
marinate. And then anyway, Stan was just like, oh, okay. Well, what do y'all need? We're like, a lot of food. So we did the food training the same night.
Oh, there you
anyways.
go, there you go.
But and then that job was just awesome.
That's
So
funny.
much fun, bro.
TGI.
You made good money. Like, got to meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, man. I like serving tables.
That's dope.
And he
That's
brought you
funny,
back.
bro.
You guys can hang apparently.
Bro, and guess what? In Fort Myers, we're going in a couple weeks, and they just shut it down.
I was gonna say TGI.
You got his
is the
number,
thing.
though.
Yeah.
No. Actually, let me see.
Yeah.
I bet he's running
Some
something.
call Stan.
I don't know if I ever had his
Yeah.
number.
I was gonna say TGI. I don't even know if that's a thing
hope you
anymore.
do.
TGI.
And whoever Stan is in your phone, you gotta call
Yeah, you
him.
just gotta call and check him out. Like, Stan, bro, is this you?
I don't have his number.
Ah!
Bro, and how old are you?
21.
Fresh out. Bro, that's funny because when we stayed, that's hilarious. You talking about needing money and like in an apartment, I'll never forget. Like, I remember I got drafted at 18, played, I had a host family my first year, a host family second year, but I got to low A my third year. And that year, like when you get to low A, it's like you can spread your wings. It's like, I'm a big boy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm here for a full season. I'm not, because in rookie ball, you're at like the complex for half of the year, and then after the draft, you go off to wherever you're gonna play for like 3 months. Low A is like you get to your city and you're there for 142 games. So I'll never forget. We went to this apartment complex in Asheville, North Carolina. Probably my top place I've ever played. Asheville was just an amazing place,
Really?
and I met some like my lifelong friends there. Like on that team, there's a lot of good dudes on that team. So we go to this apartment complex. Forget the name of it, but there on the way home there was a cookout, there was a Bojangles and a Krispy Kreme. So it was like terrible place for an 18, 19-year-old kid to be, 20-year-old kid. You pass them on the way home every time. So we go. It's I remember the street. It was 99 Ascension Drive, but I don't remember the name of the apartment complex. I gotta ask my boys. But we're in there filling out forms to get an apartment. Cause we like, yeah, we're big. You know, these guys are signed. Like, there's a couple dudes I live with. They were bonus babies, we call them, first rounder. They signed for $1 million or so. So they have the bonus money, but they don't have like the record showing that they
Pay stubs,
like making X amount of dollars.
They just got paid. They don't have 2 years of tax returns.
No doubt.
It's like, hey, my bank account says I got
money. So for me, I wasn't as fortunate bonus wise, but I got a little bit of money, and I went there, and at the time in rookie ball, I want to say I was clearing like $750 a check, like nothing crazy. It was just hilarious thinking back on it now. Pre-COVID, like minor league baseball. Yeah. So we get there, we're filling out forms. It was the same thing. It was like, how much do you make a month? And I'm like looking, calling my mom. Every question I'm calling, like, Mom, how much I make a month? She's like, Mom, nothing. Like, you don't have records showing anything, because that was right after the off season. And same thing, we like just lobbying with this lady. She's like, look, we got like 12 guys trying to live in this complex. Can we please just get a spot? Same way you begging to get a place. And yeah, they let us stay. So it was like, at that time, you wanted your rent to be cheap. So it was like 6 dudes staying in a 2-bedroom.
Oh my God.
We on the couch. We got double beds in this bedroom. We got 2 beds in another bedroom.
I've heard just war stories.
No doubt. Thinking back on that is funny. But even just being kids and living on that, dang, man, I'll never forget. We used to drive by. We'll see if the hot sign was on. It was on the left side. Krispy Kreme was on the left side of the road. So if the hot sign was on, we go bust the Yui. We're getting a dozen donuts, brother. Bring them back to the apartment. Like, no supervision, no parents, just on your own as a 20-year-old. It was hilarious.
Expected to be like a 35-year-old though.
No doubt. Yeah. You got to handle your business, definitely. But it was just funny being in that space. But trying to find a place to live was just hilarious. Because I was like, I refused. I was like, I'm not living with a host family. I want to experience it on my own. But it was funny. It's good to learn and get out at a young age like that and learn financial responsibility and stuff too. And that was back before Venmo and Zelle and everything. So we're like, trying to find out ways to divvy up funds, send money to people, pay. It was crazy. That's funny. That's so funny.
You were out of college.
Yeah, and that helps a little bit just because like you're on your own for just a few years, so it's nice because like you finally lived alone, you got your buddies, and like you know what it's like being in like an organization where like it's you're lifting, you're running, you got crazy practices, you get spoiled when you get spoiled, and you kind of like see the grind when you see it.
Yeah.
But still. It a lot of times it's kind of like a regression. There's a lot of dudes who go like a big Power 5 where travel's lush, food's lush, living's lush, and then you go from like this big time Power 5 kid getting spoiled to like being in the minor leagues in bad cities, bad bus rides, bad times. So it's
no doubt.
It's
and that's
crazy.
all I know. Like coming to Banana Land, it's funny listening to Bill, Dalton, Dan, y'all's stories about how it started here. Yeah, I'm like, I relate so well to it because my start in pro ball was 17-hour bus ride from Grand Junction, Colorado to Montana, and I'm doubling up. I'm 6'5" when I got drafted, doubling up on the bus, like trying to sleep, trying to be comfortable. And I hear about these stories about the sport. You're playing for the sport and the golden sport, and I'm like, that's relatable, for me. But now, guys getting drafted like 2-3 years ago up to now, it's like they got a totally different experience of what minor leagues and pro ball is like. So it's like the trenches per se. I was like, I was in the trenches.
I also can't imagine
playing when I was coming up.
For you, like if there's always what ifs, but like I said with the NIL stuff, like do you go to college? Because I know guys that play at big D1 schools that get offered a lot of money just to go back. And then you get these deals if you're going to be, a top 5 draft prospect. You're going to make $1 million in endorsement deals. It's what do you choose?
Yeah, I always say that. I'm like, if I was in high school now, I went to one of the bigger high schools in Florida, football-wise. So I used to see Dabo Sweeney, at the time, Will Muschamp with Florida, all these big time. Steve Spurrier with South Carolina, he's on campus all the time. And they look at me like, what position you play in football? I'm like, I don't play football, I play baseball. My mom's like, you got to protect your knees, man. You don't need to be playing football or playing basketball or running on that court. So I always play baseball. But now looking on it, with my kids, I'm like, you're going to play every sport. But the good thing, too, about signing out of high school, I have 4 years of college eligibility left. So I'm like, when I'm done, 40, 41, man, go play in the golf team. I'm trying to play until I can't. I'm gonna play
4 years.
I want to play banana ball until I can't anymore. But when I'm done,
If you need me to make a call to West Georgia, they're D1.
hey,
now.
West Georgia, whatever, man. Hey, free golf is free golf, baby. Hey, and then you gotta.
I ain't talking golf, I'm talking ball.
Hey, but
Ball
I'm
out
there.
front.
Hey, go
Go
be a
hitters
punter.
sport.
Go be a punter somewhere. A long snapper. Go get the perks, man.
Yeah, it's
hey, I'm
fun.
trying to get my money. I tell
4
them, I
years.
said, you got an ex-pro guy coming in your program. There's NIL somewhere, to be
For
found.
sure.
Ex-banana, too.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's
Yeah.
crazy to think about.
Hilarious. And I'm gonna. I always say, like, I plan to use the eligibility somehow, some way, somehow, some way, bro. Somehow, some way. Might be Savannah State while I'm
Oh
still
my
playing banana ball.
gosh.
You never know.
That's
Never know.
hilarious.
But yeah, it's funny. Something to sit on. Something to sit on for me.
And like minor league living too, like living's crazy because you never know what team you're going to make out of spring training because you're sitting there, everyone's trying to make a team, you're trying to make double A, you're trying to make single A,
Yeah.
you know like what you have a chance to do, but everyone's freaking out and you're seeing 15 dudes get cut every single day and you're just like looking around like hoping you don't get cut. You don't know where you're going until pretty much the night before. So once they set teams, you pretty much get on the flight and you fly out. So when you get to where you're going, everyone is, you're kind of expected to be there for the full season. No one wants to be there for the full season because you want to get called up. But you're sitting there and they give you like 5 nights in a hotel. And they said, these are your 5 nights. We're going to have light practice, but you got to find a place to live. So no one has ever been there before. No one's lived there or knows anybody in the city. And you got 5 days to just kind of like drive around and try and find people that will like let you live there.
Seriously.
And first off, you're showing up in like
crazy.
April 1st. So like you're showing up at a weird time a year. No one's gonna sign a full year lease. So first off, you're gonna get what you're looking for. So like if you're saying I can only get like a 7-month lease, you're not gonna get cream of the crop. You're not gonna get people that are like checking the boxes and being super professional. You're gonna find whoever is gonna allow you to have a crazy lease, crazy time.
Yeah.
You're not there. So dudes are ending up in these insane apartment complexes, these trap houses, these like insane places. Things are falling apart. And like we're in Charleston, West Virginia, we got 8 dudes in this 6-bedroom house.
And I'll play in Charleston.
Yeah, so we lived there. That was my low end. And so we roll in, and same thing, we're on the phones all day long. And I find some guy who's like, yeah, I got this house. It's perfect. Come show up. And we show up. The basement's not done. Nothing's done. And like the place is just like, downstairs is just concrete. And we're sitting there, and he's like, well, I'll give it to you for this price. And we're like sitting there, we're like, maybe.
It sounds alright.
It's so
That's
crazy.
not so bad.
It's so crazy
So
to think
you
you guys
end
are
up-
playing that.
Yeah.
And I'll get into it. I don't mean to cut you off, but we're playing for the Golden Sport, living in a multi-million-dollar house.
Continue.
Yeah.
I know it's
Exactly.
with March.
Yeah.
Living that
It's
life,
insane.
bro.
And I'm living with a first rounder and a third rounder and
Yeah.
like a kid, kids that are, which is hilarious. We're at the same level, but at the time I was 21 because I just got drafted. But I'm living with an 18-year-old who got drafted at 17.
Right.
But because he was drafted before me and he was younger, we're on the same team.
Right.
So now you're like, you got guys that are kind of your age, but also younger, but they're also bonus babies.
Yeah.
And
So
no
I'm in this-
security.
I'm in this
No job
5-bedroom
security.
house with 8 guys. So we got 2 guys in the upstairs living room, 1 in the downstairs living room, and we're all splitting this rent. So in Charleston, West Virginia, I'm paying like $175 a month for rent. And I've got my own room, my own bathroom, and a walk-in closet. And you're like, but you look around and you're like, we're on the side of a hill, the house is falling apart, the downstairs is not done, spiders everywhere, no carpet, and we're sitting there, we're like, that's not so bad. We had a kid who was,
I got my own bathroom.
big time
Like-
high school pick for like almost $1 million,
Yeah.
living in an air mattress in our living room.
That's
And you're
crazy.
sitting there and you're like, you kind of look around, but like you're grinder, but you're like, what? So now
Yeah.
minor leaguers get all your livings covered. It's
Yeah,
all
it's
free.
all free.
They do it all. So you just show up and you pop in what they covered for you. So now I don't even know where guys are living. It's
Right.
probably like super nice.
Yeah.
But we're out there
Yeah.
grinding. You got
Yeah.
this little time clock
It's all furnished too, I think.
because the first 2 days you strike out. Like
Yeah.
if you're just gonna try and find some place to live, the first 2 days it's
Right.
not gonna work. So then all of a sudden you like maybe get a couple leads. You see a few houses on the 3rd and 4th day, and like the 5th day before like practice is really intense and you're about to start games. Guys are still flying around town.
Right.
No furniture, no nothing, no beds. you still don't even have street addresses, nothing,
Right.
because you're just brand new. So you're trying to put all that together. You get the first week of practice, you're in games, guys are still sleeping on wherever they can find sleep, because no one can pay for a hotel, and like we were getting kicked out of a hotel because all the cockroaches and then something else, and like so the first week of minor league ball back in like 2015 when I was there is just chaos because no one has any idea what's going on, but you're like, we have a game in 5 days and we gotta figure out what's going on in that time being.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Where were y'all for the breakfast bowl?
I'm saying, like, you grow
up.
up. He
Yeah.
came there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you grow up in the, like you guys both got the call, but like
Yeah.
your dream is to get drafted.
Right.
And then you're hearing these stories about like you guys living through that, and you know there's cockroaches, there's nothing, there's air mattresses, and
Scorpions.
we're here playing for the Golden Sport, telling each other our careers are over, but we're fortunate enough.
It's like, hey,
Our
little
host-
did you know?
Our host family has a multi-million-dollar house,
Yeah.
phenomenal people,
Yeah.
and just the setup. And I mean, we're coming home after every game to
Filet mignon.
filet mignon and lobster tails with a note in the kitchen like, great game, enjoy the night, you know, steak, lobster tail, shrimp, cases of beer, and it's every night. Hot tubs on, movie theater,
Right.
whatever you want. And I'm like,
That is crazy.
we're playing for the sport. You guys are playing to get to the big leagues,
Yeah.
but this is the life we're living. This is the life you're
We
living.
got a documentary about that. whole
Yeah, I mean, we had a guy,
y'all had
come
that?
over
Yeah.
to shoot a day in the life with Bill Leroy's
That's
birthday.
crazy.
And Bill wakes up, he's like, what do I want to do today? he's like, I want a birthday steak.
Oh, no, bro.
I want to go dock jumping. Like,
That's funny.
I mean, they had a boat, dude. And like I said, amazing people. She's like, you know how to work a boat? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, here's the key.
That's tight.
And I'm like, oh, so every morning I just wake up, pour a cup of coffee, and take the boat for a spin.
Yeah.
Like,
That's so awesome.
before going to play for the sport.
That helps.
You know?
How was
Before
your-
going to
how
give
was
up a
yours?
home run.
Yeah.
Mine was it was me and Dearman,
Okay.
and we lived together. We lived. There was a family and they had a carriage house, like a house above their garage, and we lived in there. I remember moving in with Dearman first night. We were just hanging out, talking. I was getting to know him, whatever, you know. And he's a diehard Banana too, and at the time, and somehow we started talking about like music or whatever, and he followed me on Instagram, and he was like, "Wait, do you make music?" I was like, "Yeah, I make music." He's like, "Oh, play some stuff." And I played a couple songs, and he liked whatever, and then another song came on, and he was like, "I've heard this."
Oh, dang.
I was like, "Really?" And he's like, Yeah. I was like, "Which song?" He's like, "This one right now." And I was like, "This song?" And he's like, "Yeah, I actually love this song." I was like, "This is Eminem."
Take your hat off. Take your hat off.
Hey.
Was your hair like that? I can see, bro. I can see how he got y'all mixed up. That's so insane.
Well, this is lose yourself. By
Hold on, bro. Wow. What a comp, though. What a
This
comp.
came out 15 years ago.
But speaking of your music, though, your songs on that. What song is this? It was on. It just ended. There it
Let's
is.
just talk about this. Is called When It Hits. That's what it is.
When It Hits. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Deja Vu.
When did you start making music? I want to know personally.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
started-
don't even know.
I think like 2018.
Okay.
I got hurt at Bethune-Cookman when I was playing there,
Okay.
and couldn't even like lift my arm, couldn't throw, couldn't practice, couldn't play, couldn't travel, and I always liked to sing, but I never did it in front of anybody, never told nobody.
Yeah.
And I got a guitar. What I did was my senior year of high school, I wanted to get into guitar, and every time my dad would give me gas money, I would keep like $3 and put it in a drawer.
Okay.
And it took me like a year and a half. Yeah. Very grateful my dad even gave me the money.
Smart, bro. That's smart.
Yeah. I feel like $3 to $5 every time he gave me money, like every couple of days, put it in there. Eventually, like a year and a half later, I bought a guitar, and then learned how to play it for a few months, whatever.
Yeah.
And then didn't really do anything once I went to junior college with it. And then when I got to Bethune-Cookman, I got hurt, and I was like, man, there's nothing else I can do. Like, what can I do with my time? And so I, run the route. I go to practice. I go to school, go to practice, come home, do dinner, and then from like 6 p.m. to like 2 a.m. every night, I would just sit in the bathroom and watch YouTube videos on how to play guitar. So I started learning how to play guitar, actually. I started singing, trying to learn how to sing and play at the same time. That was like the hardest part. But then eventually I started posting like covers, and I was like, all right, I'm going to post a cover every day on Twitter and see what happens. And so I started doing one every day. And then eventually like every video I posted, it'd get like 100K views every night on Twitter.
Right.
And it started kind of popping off, and that's whenever like Jesse saw a video I made. He reached out to me at that time.
Yeah.
That's how it got started with that. But then people were like, "Oh, you should put music out," and I was like, "Okay, like I don't have any songs, don't know how to write songs." So then I started like trying to pay attention on like to my favorite artists, like what kind of music they wrote, like how they wrote their songs. I started writing songs. Was really bad at it, and then started getting better at it.
Yeah.
And I put my first song out that summer when I moved to Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped in Nashville. My buddy Chase lived there at the time. Stopped in Nashville, recorded the song, went out to Wyoming, put it out like 3 weeks later, and then it did really good. It was like top 100 in the world on iTunes on all genres, which is kind of nuts. And then like top like 15 in the world in like country.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, I gotta get to Nashville, and I got my release from Cookman. Crazy story how it happened, but basically one of the guys that was a coach there at my team in Wyoming was there for 3 days, and he literally got me to my school in Nashville, and then all the coaches got
they're going after that.
not fired, but like I don't really know how to
Scandal.
They
Scandal.
entered the transfer portal.
They entered the transfer portal, and don't know why. But that one guy got me to my school there,
Okay.
and then I went to Trek, and it kind of changed. That's when I really got into music.
That's dope.
Now you're unbelievable at it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you
bro.
are, bro. You're a star of the show.
Crazy, bro.
And
So
Banana Land. Come see Dalton Marlin for sure.
That's
At
right.
the show.
Yeah. You've seen enough people and like artists, and like you can probably have a good feel of who is just a pure talent, like they were born with it. It's what they do. They were meant to do it. You can probably see people that are like super technical, where like they're good because like they played so much, they practiced so much, they've song written so much. Like, was there any inclination for you about being? Was there any moment like you can look back and be like, all right, maybe I probably could have seen the ability to songwrite when I was younger? Because like, as of now, if you're gonna say like you just practice, like there's got to be some sort of talent in there.
I think like my favorite like my favorite subject of school was probably English and like writing. I loved anytime we had to write like like papers or whatever, like I loved doing it. Like I'd always write way more just because I would just like doing it. And then I think like I don't know, I feel like I was kind of the person like in my friend group that would like talk to my buddies if they were going through something or whatever, or just kind of like be that friend or whatever. And then once I started going through life and relationships and things like that, like I had things to talk about. And then I still didn't songwrite at the time. When I started like songwriting, that's where I was like, oh, I got a lot of stuff I can talk about.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
they're
kind
all
of like
stories, kind of.
Yeah, and that's kind of it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun writing that out and trying to, and then putting music to it is a whole other thing.
Right.
But like the coolest thing ever is like having an idea in your head, getting in a room, writing a song, and then like including all the music like components, like the guitar, the keys, the drums, everything, even like the smallest little like ear candy things. But then like at the end of the day, be like, all right, let's give it a spin, hit the space bar, and you all just sit back, you just listen to it, and you're like, yeah, we just made that today.
That's it.
That's a cool feeling.
Yeah.
I think about that a lot when there's like big songs, like like even like Big X the Plug.
Yeah.
Like after he makes a song, bro,
Yeah.
he makes a song in
How do you
Texas,
feel? Yeah.
and he hits that space bar for the first time and listens
Yeah.
back, like I know that studio is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
They're in their
I even
vibe.
think about that. Like, I mean, I love music, love it, all genres. Brett knows we live together. I'm always playing music, no matter what. I think that's what a lot of us have in common too, with our marinating sessions in the locker room. We're always playing music. But I hear a song and it resonates with you at the certain time, like it's like a certain time or place or however you're feeling. You're like, dang, like how did they get what type of mind space with this artist in when they created this masterpiece? Because it's art. It's like an art form. You know, that's tight.
It's
That's
crazy
cool.
because like it's true. Like a lot of we when I'm in Nashville, like we write a song Monday through Friday pretty much every week, and sometimes like 2 in the same day.
Yeah.
And like if you have to like force it, like
It's not gonna be it.
like you'll get a song, it might be decent, but like it's not gonna be one of your good ones, you know.
Yeah.
But like whenever it like actually hits you, or like you get
Right.
inspired by something and you write something, like
No
it's
doubt.
such a difference.
No doubt. And
Make
it's art,
somebody else,
man.
Let's make somebody else feel
Yeah.
the same
No
way.
doubt. Yeah. And it's an art form. Like Bill was saying when Jesse came in, was like, anybody want to introduce themselves? He's like, me. That's art. Like when you go out there and it just spews out that way, that's like inspiring. It's inspiring in a lot of different ways. Like you making music, Dan with his stories, Bret with his background, Bill doing what he's doing. It's inspiring. It's inspiring in all different aspects. So that's cool. I think that's what, like, now at this point in my life, I gravitate towards certain people mindsets just because I'm constantly looking for inspiration. Like, there's inspiration everywhere. So it's like, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm in the locker room with a dude that writes music, a guy that can do jujitsu, a dude running a bar full time, and a guy that can do literally anything at any time on the spot.
Yeah.
That's inspiration, you know, instead of like comparing like, well, Dalton writes music, but I can't. Or like, Dan can do jiu-jitsu, but not me. Or Bret knows how to run a business, but I don't know how. Bill's this guy. I'm like coming up to y'all, asking y'all for questions or advice or things like that. And
I asked Brian for advice with some dental information.
Dental information, bro.
I'm like, Brian, what do I do with this?
Hey, that's all it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Just the inspiration. I think there's inspiration everywhere,
Yeah.
and that leads you. Like, if you're curious, you find inspiration. But it's so easy to compare yourself and things and stuff like that. But
Definitely is.
yeah, it's cool here, and you know, being at this point in my life, being 30, I'm about to be 31, 3 kids. I'm like, man, my kids inspire me like crazy. But I'm like, dang, that helps me like just open up, be like, what can somebody else do that inspires me? I want to learn from them, you know, like, and tap into that creative space. And then who knows where you can go from there? You know what I mean? Like,
That's why I think Banana Land is so cool too, man. Is like, it's not a normal baseball team either. Like, I've met some of my best friends in the whole world, just like throughout different baseball teams, and you know, I've been through all kind of different, all these crazy stories and crazy memories that I have. And Banana Land itself is like, it's on a kind of another level at different times because like this place attracts people like Dalton, who makes music and does baseball,
right,
and like Rack, who's crazy good at social media and does baseball. Like all these different talents and different things that you typically don't see, like you know, because we look for those things here, and like people gravitate to this place and they have so many different talents, and like man, I'm learning things like every day, like you're saying, from different people that are just truly like unique people that wouldn't be in like, you know, a typical baseball locker room. So it's super cool, man.
No doubt. Cool. Yeah, it is.
Might be kind of why guys are around here, because they're just, you know, there's something about them that's more than just kind of like baseball or hardo or something that like, you know, because a lot of people will pop in here but they don't last, or it's not a good fit or something like that, where obviously the people that are here and thriving and doing something are all pretty fascinating people and inspirational or creative or something about it. You're sitting there like, you know, it really is a lot more than just baseball talent, because it goes pretty deep and it goes into who you are, what you are.
Absolutely.
Your creativity really shines when you get the avenue to do it in front of a bunch of people. And
yeah, and it's funny, different perspective being an older guy here. It's like, I think every day I'm like, what do people in the locker room perceive me as? That's the hardest thing, because it's always like in the baseball locker room, it's like baseball. This dude works hard, works on his craft, same guy every day. Like, you know the boxes that you check walking into a baseball locker room. But here, like you said, there's a plethora of talents and different things people can achieve and do here, where it's like, what attracts you to this person? Is it the singing talent? Is it the way you try crazy trick plays? Or like, that's one thing as I've grown and maturated. I think that's what helped me gravitate towards Banana Land. I'm on the outside looking in, having Bret too, that I've known for forever, coming here, and I'm like, hey man, when I get to Banana Land, like, I know exactly what I'm here for. You know, like being an older guy and like knowing what I want in my baseball career or banana ball career now. Coming here, I'm like, I know exactly what I'm getting myself into, not the ins and outs and everything. You know, we're learning that every day. All of us are still, you know, like Jesse always says, we're in the first inning. But getting here, and I'm like, wait, when I was 24 or 25 and I look back at a 24 or 25-year-old in the locker room that I can kind of compare myself to, I'm like, dang, man, I thought similar ways, you know, when I was that age. But it's like now with this perspective, I'm grateful to have the perspective that I have now, and it didn't just come about. I'm sure we'll get more into that with more episodes of the Marinate and podcast. But seeing the way seeing the way a guy ties his shoes, if I'm like, how did you learn how to tie your shoes that way? That's cool. Like, let me watch you again. That's inspiration. Like the way a guy the way a guy holds his backpack, or what type of backpack he's wearing, what type of swag he has off the field. I'm looking at that and I'm like, dang, what can I take from him that I would love to apply to my life or my thing, or batting stance, or like, you know, you talk about Rack's great on social media. He's Coach Rack. He can play baseball, but this dude's flipping in the second base. I'm like, how the heck can you do that? Like, that's inspiring. Like, I'm picking up little things from every aspect of life that I see, you know, and I think that that's the cool thing about here is like you get a lot of that thrown into one pot, and I can just sit through it every day. It's like, what do I want to take today? Because everybody's so creative and so talented here, and completely different aspects.
I think
so
that like that too. Like the perfect example is like today I made a crazy video of me hopping out of the ice barrel in a helmet, sunglasses, and eye black, and like here. As soon as I see all you guys and everyone else I've seen today, they're like, that video is awesome, great job. Yeah. Imagine when you were with the Rockies or you were with the Pirates in your rookie season if you showed up to the locker room 10 minutes after posting that.
Right.
Like your coach would probably call you in and be like, Prime, are you mentally stable?
Right.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
But here it's like, hey, great job, because we're just being creative and like all trying to grow in different ways.
Yeah, and I spoke to that the other day too. Yeah, like it was like
hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah,
you're making us laugh. I know you're seeing somebody else.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and it's hard too because like we do get saturated by a lot of good videos,
good
stuff, a lot of good edits, and all these things.
Yeah.
Like you guys are getting better every day.
Yeah.
So like when someone drops something that's original,
hilarious.
It's creative, and it's new, and it's like it's one of those things where like we can see somebody like you and be like, damn, like you got it in you, like you got it in you to be fun and creative and awesome, and like post a sick video, and like bang, there it is. So it's like, dude, good on you.
By strictly being you. It's like it's
nothing crazy.
Strictly being you, being yourself, and you're like, and we were talking about earlier before you guys got here. It was like, oh man, well, I gotta post this video. Like this one, I gotta make sure it goes viral. And it's like, no, you can't. You just gotta be you, man. Like if you feel like you want to post it, you want to put it out there for other people to see, do it, and it inspires people. You know, on whatever level. But that's really cool part about being here. Even my 8-year-old, man, I talked to him last night for 20 minutes, Corey, on the phone, and I said, I need dances, Corey. Like, I'm tall, I'm goofy. Give me something. Like, give me some Fortnite stuff. He's like, okay, I'm going to share my screen. Like, he uses his iPad better than I can. He shares his screen and goes to YouTube, and he's showing me Fortnite dances for 20 minutes.
I guess, too, with what you just said, like, inspiring people, and I really never thought of it until now, because I'm just so content with DHing. Like, I genuinely love it, but a bunch of fans before the game will be like, what position are you playing? I'm like, oh, I'm DHing, and they're like, oh, that sucks. And they walk away. And then, like, you meet, it's true, though. And then, like, you meet college kids who are like, oh, like, I don't hit as well when I just DH. I need to play the field. So, like, maybe long-term down the road, like, my videos reach people, and it's like, DHing ain't that bad,
Absolutely.
dude. Like, you're playing a game and getting hit. Everybody loves hitting.
Just own it.
It's all your perspective, man. Whatever you think about something is what the reality is going to be.
I DH'd for like 3 years in college.
Oh, great.
I wanted to ask you about your songwriting because I feel like some people will write it based on experience, and like that's the one that, like you're saying, you know, it's true because they felt it, they experienced it. So like those words are like are very accurate to like how they felt, and it's very easy to relate to it. But then I also feel like there's other people who like kind of storytell, like maybe like a fable or something, where they say, maybe I've not experienced it, but I can probably talk about it better than somebody else. So their talent goes, I can reach somebody about this situation that I really haven't been to. But I, like, for you, have you had a song that, like, maybe you were telling a story that wasn't about you or wasn't for you that did well? Or is all your success and all your best songwriting is like, this is how I felt, this is what it did to me, and, like, this is how I want other people to relate?
I think I've definitely written songs, and, like, putting myself in a person's spot. I've definitely wrote songs like that. They don't mean as much to me, but they still resonate with people. I don't think I have one song out that's not about me, which is kind of how I like it to be, just because I feel like I don't put a lot of like my personal life on social media, and so like if you want to learn more about me, I'm like, hey, listen to my music. That's kind of me, you know. I feel like that's like the best way to tell people like who I am, and that way I keep like social media, like, you know, more business or whatever, and what I'm doing. But I think that like I've definitely written good songs that are not about me, that people would like for sure, because it's relatable. Like, it's all relatable in your own way, because that's how music is. It's however, it's like your own perception of it. You kind of make it make sense in your head, you know. Like if I hear a song that I really like, I'm like, why do I really like this song? Is it the sound? Is it the lyrics? And like I kind of feel like that it's all of it, and it wasn't about me. But like, it kind of fits in my head, you know, or you kind of make that like storyline fit in your head in a sense.
It could be about you.
But it could be, yeah. Just like that, we had a guy. His name is Jimmy Erie. He came and played some songs that he wrote for some artists, and he's talking about how he wrote the song "I Drive Your Truck" by Lee Brice, and like wasn't his story. He just heard a guy on the news who had like lost his son. That was over in war at the time, and the lady was like, "Well, how do you like cope with it?" And he was like, "Yeah, I drive this truck sometimes," and that's how he wrote the song "I Drive a Truck." And which is crazy,
right?
It's
I had no
story,
clue,
but
and I like that song.
Yeah.
his talent is like making something be relatable, or like telling somebody, "Hey,
Storytelling.
I'm gonna make you feel this with the way that I structure these words."
Exactly.
And the thing about listening to your songs that's so crazy too is like you listen to this music, you remember every word, and like you're so into the song and you love it. But when I listen to your music, I'm sitting there and I'm like, hold on, this is him. He went through this. He's feeling this. I'm like, you read a breakup song, and I'm like, who is this chick who's messing with my boy? Like, you sit there, it's like, it's not just listening to music. It's like, we got that relationship established where it's like, hold on, like this, he actually went through this, and I want to know more about it. Like, how'd you get there? What was it like? And like, you don't get that because artists are so far away. But like, you're a dog.
Yeah.
Make sure you get
They are.
I heard that new drop. Come here now. No, that's tight, man. Yeah, there's a ton of different things going on here once there's just lots to talk about.
Has there been stuff where you wrote like a bar or a lyric and you were like, that's gonna be the greatest bar ever, and then just like nobody cares?
I try to. So it's kind of what I think about sometimes when I'm like songwriting, because sometimes like in sessions, like they're long days, and you're like sometimes you're like, let's just get something in there for now, But then sometimes when you're like really inspired, I feel like you write really quick, and when I try to, if like wherever's stuck, if I'm like, so because sometimes you're like, there's like a null stage where you're like, nobody has an idea right now, what's going on, like don't really know where to go with the song, and in my head I'm like, all right, I need to think of something that could be an Instagram caption. Like that's literally what I think of, like whether it's like sentimental, whether it's like tough or whatever it is, depending on like what the vibe of the song is. But like I legit try to think of like, would that line be an Instagram caption? Essentially, would it look good on a merch idea?
Captions are hard to come up with too.
Captions are hard to come up with.
Usually I just go back to a Drake song, right? When you
Dude,
need a caption.
how many Instagram captions have you seen
Search
that
some
are
quote.
Drake,
Drake,
that are big X to plug? It's like because all those lines are so hard.
Yeah, reaching for something creative.
Like that's it. Like that's they mean something to people. You know what I
And
mean?
it could mean multiple things too.
It can mean
Like,
multiple
have
things.
direct meaning. Makes you a thing.
Yeah.
That's
Makes you look
hilarious.
mysterious.
An inspiration moment's hilarious too, because like I'll have some idea and I'm like, oh, this is the best idea ever, I can't wait to make it. And like, I'll wake up the next day and I'm like, that sounds so good. That's like, I really thought that in the moment, because of what you're feeling, your emotions or whatever, if you're in a good mood or something, and you're like, this is the best idea ever, I'm going to make it, it's going to be perfect, everyone's going to love it. And then you wake up, you're like, I don't know, like that.
But it could be the other way around though. Like a lot of times, like I had a dude I played with, Connor Camacho. Shout out to Connor. I haven't talked to you forever, but 2018 we're in Texas, man. We'll get into this story down the road, I'm sure. But I was playing on an all Chinese team, fresh out of affiliated, and there's like 3 or 4 American guys. And this dude, Connor Camacho, was like, "Hey man, everybody deserves to feel good, okay? Like I just want you to know that, like." If you're a person, you deserve to feel good all the time. No matter how you got to get there, you deserve to feel good. So when you feel good is when usually the juices are flowing. You're like, man, this sounds good. This is great. Like, just put it out there. Just do it. Just do it. I felt good when I was writing it, man. Like it's out there now.
Who's the catcher?
Oh, wait, Lee Ning, man. Lee Ning. We gotta get Lee Ning on the pod. We will get him on the. That's my boy. Lee Ning is one of the most savage, maybe 5'7", maybe 142 soaking wet, maybe.
I wanna meet that man.
And he was just a dog. Lee Ning was a dog. Shout out to Lee Ning, man. He's somewhere. He's back in China now, but that's one of my boys, bro.
You think he's playing ball?
He's playing ball somewhere.
Yeah.
In China, it's a government job to play baseball. So they get full benefits, everything. That's why they all played. Yeah.
Whoa.
This team got put together because it was Shogun Metal was the name of the company.
I thought that was your team name for a second.
No, it was the Shogun. It was the Shogun Eagles, Texas Air Hogs. And Bill said he played there in that stadium.
I played the Division II National Championship.
Yeah, they had a pool in right field, bro.
That's
Like,
tough
it was
marketing.
like tough marketing.
The Shogun, Air Hog, Groundhog, Texas Eagles.
Yeah. They got that name, bro.
How many teams?
They got that name because they were like responsible for like 90% of the pollution in China that year. So their punishment. The punishment was, okay, in China, baseball's a government job. So they're like, hey, you're going to take these baseball players to America, and they're going to train to get better. Because Chinese baseball, it's not like a thing, really. Like, it's more Japanese. And they're like, you're going to take these Chinese guys to America, and y'all are going to train and get them right. So they sent, their fine was like $5 or $6 million. So the team got that money. So we're like the richest team in the American Association. This was the year before I met Bret. Richest team in the America. We're flying everywhere. Got the bus when we got picked up in the airport, and it's like a gang of us.
Were you winning?
No, man. We won maybe 8 games that year.
8
games. And the only reason I got there is because my boy Dylan Thomas, shout out to DT. He's gonna watch this, so shout out to DT. He was with the Rockies with me, and this dude worked harder and played harder than anybody I've ever met. And I've never seen a staff of people against one player ever in my life like this guy. And he just was like, I don't care, bro. Like, I'm gonna keep playing as hard as I can, doing the best I can. He's about to get released, grinds through it, plays that year in AA with me, and then he was a free agent the next year, and he never got signed. So he went to Texas. Another crazy add to the story, Billy Martin, the legendary Billy Martin, the Yankees manager, his son was the GM of this team, the Chinese team in Texas. Billy Martin signs Dylan. I was in Frisco, Texas at the time. I got let go by the Rangers, and Dylan calls me. He's like, you ain't going nowhere, bro. You coming right here. You coming to Grand Prairie. He's like, don't even think about it. Going anywhere else, bro. You coming to play for the Air Hogs. This is going to be the most hilarious thing you've ever seen.
Hardest turf you've ever seen.
Hardest turf you've ever seen. Holes everywhere, bro. Can't hit a homer.
There was one hit.
Wow.
Grand slam against the World Series.
Really?
It was against
bro, they crazy.
He hit a ball in the middle of the outfield, a bounce
Probably
off the
Zach
pitch.
Shannon from Delta State.
Crazy, bro.
him.
That's where the D2
He hit
championship
like
was?
63 home runs.
D2
in one
championship was there?
The D2 World Series, that was like the only year it was there for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
why.
usually in
I don't know
Kansas.
why.
Just
Yeah,
kidding.
the
I don't think it
USA
might have
thing.
been real.
This
I
kid's
don't know.
actually.
It might
It might not have happened. I could have dreamed it.
He hit the home
We
run.
lost our 2 games and it was gone.
They were in our conference, the team they played. This kid, Zach Shannon, he has the record
Dude,
in D2
stupidest
baseball.
numbers
He hit like 49 homers in a year in like 40 games. And we're like, what does this kid do? And all the kids around Delta are like, nothing. He just plays video games. And they had a sub shop in, I forget the name of the town in Mississippi, middle of nowhere. And the guy would sit in left field and own the sub shop. He had one leg and he would just heckle everybody. It was Lenny Subs. And they said, he just,
Wait. And he worked at a sub shop?
so Zach Shannon, the kid who hit all the homers, apparently just worked at Lenny Subs and just played video games and hit like 49 homers.
That's
And
crazy.
then he got drafted. I think he got released now, but I mean, he was a freak. And Bill said that's the kid he's pretty sure that hit the home run.
Oh, okay.
It's a freaking beast.
Bro, dude, we gotta hear some of those stories, bro, from D2, dog.
That's the next episode.
Bro, yeah, next episode.
The whole reality show.
Yeah, that's the next episode. I got some.
You
good
played
ones.
with Kyle, right?
Yeah,
Cowboy Kyle.
I
At
sure did.
was it Middle Georgia?
North Georgia.
North Georgia.
Me and Dan, we had some.
I got some JUCO stories too. That's the third.
You played in North Georgia too, Dan?
West Georgia.
We
What?
had some.
Y'all had the whole state covered.
That's how me and Bill
We
met.
played some long games
I went-
against each other, bro.
I went up to
Every
the plate.
game we played with like 19.
We won't go like. We'll save the D2 story for next time. But the way I met Bill, I go up to home plate. I look at him. I said, "Hey, you playing for the Bananas this summer?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Cool, me too." First pitch, they're pitching through.
Off the mountain. He said, "I'll see you there." Came and touched home. See you there.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it, teammate.
K and I'll change up. Never forget.
Bro, that is funny. Francis, Kyle.
Yeah.
Who else here went to school with you?
Jake Howard played with us back in. Shout out Jake Howard. He played with us in 20. He played 3 summers for the Bananas, but he's never played on the pro team or anything.
Okay.
He played in North Georgia.
Okay.
He played with us for 3 years with the Bananas. I think that's everybody.
Yeah, we're the last 3 standing.
That's it.
Yeah.
Man, wow.
Nobody from your team at all?
That's
I mean, my first year was their second year, so we've played with all the same guys.
I was saying from
West Georgia,
West
the only
Georgia.
guy from West Georgia, Cade Marlowe is with the Mariners now. He debuted in the bigs like a year or 2 ago. He's still with the Mariners.
Mhm.
And then when I got done here in 2021, I made a call for Brody Wortham, who ended up doing his grad year. He played at Auburn.
Okay.
I think he's a physical therapist or something now, sports physical therapy. But other than that, nobody from West Georgia.
Right.
Just the 3 of us.
Well, y'all's first year for the Bananas CPL. How was it when y'all got here, Grayson?
2018, bro. That place was
18.
Yeah, that
Okay.
place was. Locker room was rough, dirty floors, the
Yeah.
rubber mats were all peeled up, the ceilings screwed up, all the
Yeah.
lockers had no drawers that worked,
Man.
smelled
I mean, I
bad.
got sent home after 2 innings.
Yeah, right. I heard about that.
Dan,
That's hilarious.
Dan blew a hamstring.
Gone.
Gone, day
Gone.
one.
But I was 20 or 21, whatever, and I came here from school, and I had all my stuff in a cardboard box. I was at Kyle's house. I was living with Bill and Kyle at Kyle's parents' house, and they cut me, and I'll never forget it. Gillum said, hey, it was before the game, he's like, hey, we're going to send you home, but he's like, I'm going to try to get you an at-bat tonight in the game. I was like, don't even worry about it. I'll just get out of here.
Yeah.
I was like, I appreciate you having me. Like, I dropped a fly ball and pulled my hamstring.
Yeah.
Nothing on you.
It was the worst start.
It was a pop fly this high, like it was ceiling.
You couldn't have tossed it underhand. He's all
I'm like I
took
cut.
foul territory right in front of the first base bleachers.
Yeah.
So soft.
I'm like I would cut me too. So I get all my stuff and I put it in my cardboard box, and I'm like, shit, where do I go?
Cardboard box.
So I drove back to Carrollton, a girl I used to date, and I called her. She was excited, like I surprised her. I showed up. I said, sweetie, I'm out front. I got my cardboard box. I got nowhere to go. I had places to go, but I just walked in with my
You
box
build it
and
up,
went
yeah,
back and
yeah.
lived. And then I went home and I was renting out beach chairs. I was a Cabana.
Worst places to
I was
be
a
in St.
Cabana boy.
Peter.
And I guess their first baseman at the time, back pick play.
Yeah.
I met this kid, Rafi Vasquez,
Rafi.
great guy. Goes to tag the guy, like just snaps his forearm. So they're like, who do we call? Like first baseman, blah blah blah. And Bill and Kyle went in there and they're like, why don't you call Dan? And they're like, all right, good idea. My hamstring's still torched. I couldn't play. But Gillum calls me. He's like, "Hey, can you come back? It's my birthday." I think I was going to brunch to like get mimosas, bottomless, straight from the bottom. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on my way." I just called my buddies that I was going to brunch with, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to Savannah." Like, turned around, packed my stuff at my house, and played there that night.
Just grab the box
Yeah,
and go.
and then so July 12th, I went back and I played there that night. And
That's
then,
wild, though.
yeah, now we're here, 2025.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Crazy, man.
I always said I thought the last year Grayson was 14, but it was 15. But in 14, I played. I'll tell y'all this all the time, but we with Asheville, back to the best year of my life. We're playing in Savannah, and they're like, the team might fold next year. Yada yada yada. We beat the Sandats in the playoffs to advance to the next round. And I got this video somewhere, but one of our friends, Matt Carcetti, he was like documenting the whole playoffs. And it's that song, I want to say hi all the time. And I see Dylan Thomas, DT, he's pouring milk and Captain Crunch down his throat, bro, in that locker room, the same locker room. I'm like, oh, man, like, I know that thing's stinking there. That's the way we did your locker room. Your locker room.
The first thing was that carpet, too.
Carpet. It was, I'll never
Horrible,
forget.
bro.
It was like that brown tan carpet. Yeah.
And because he was one of the last teams here, and so when I left, when I first got here, he was like, "Well, how's that locker room?" And I was like, "It's tough." And he goes, "I bet it's still covered in milk."
He destroyed that.
Yeah,
because in minor leagues, bro, pregame spread was cereal, Pop-Tarts, maybe PB&J here and there.
That's crazy.
It was just brutal. Yeah, it was crazy. Think about it. It was crazy.
After the last game with the
What type of Pop-Tart y'all like?
Pie used
brown
to-
sugars.
Pie used to make good sandwiches here in Cody.
Yeah.
Buy it.
It would be like a group me message. It'd be like,
If you want a ham
yeah,
sandwich,
like this
Pie
message.
just-
He called it Pie's Deli. Like this message for ham, like this message for turkey.
Chef Curry.
Shout out to Corey Pie, bro.
He'd fold them up tenfold.
Bro.
Oh man.
Brother, some of the locker room food was just disgusting. That was before like Uber Eats, DoorDash, none of that. We had to walk or something.
Crazy.
Bro, we're in Modesto, California, in a portable, mind you, as the locker room portable. And we got this dude from Modesto. He's like, "Hey man, we got a Sunday game 1 o'clock." He's like, "Come on, man. Hey, I'm gonna have egos, and I'm gonna bring a toaster, man." That was like gourmet. I'm
And
like,
you guys
"Hey,
were like,
yeah. Can you get some syrup?"
That's funny.
He's
You
like,
couldn't even
"Bruh."
think about leaving.
Yeah.
No one could bring you anything. You
Heck
couldn't
no.
talk. So like,
He pulls up, bro. He pulls up. He's like, "I forgot the toaster, dog." I'm like, oh,
That's
man.
Put him on second base. So cooked.
Crazy, bro.
That's hilarious, bro.
Bakersfield was one of the most wildest places I've ever played, man.
D-Max told me.
Bakersfield, D-Mac. We gotta get D-Mac on the pod talking about Bakersfield, bro. We'll say that for when he's here. I gotta hear his story about Bakersfield. I gotta hear what he gotta say about that place. The Bakersfield was crazy. Bakersfield and then San Bernardino or Rags from, like straight hood, Route 66. Just wild. We playing some wild places. Helena, Montana. Clubbies like, put your shoes up when you go outside, guys. Like, we got a scorpion problem. Scorpion? Look in Montana. What you mean? He's like, yeah, there's a ledge. There's like old school, high school locker room where there's like lockers everywhere. Probably this size room and just a bench going along like a shared bench, the whole locker room. He's like, hey, do me a favor, when you go out, put your feet or your shoes on the benches before you leave. And that's Alexiadis, because I think he played in Helena in that Pioneer League. But that's Pioneer League Scorpions. Wow.
Crazy.
In Montana. In Montana.
We played in Arizona 2 years ago. Someone caught a scorpion. Brought it in the locker room. I'm like, dude, get that thing out
It was
of
in the
here.
locker room.
Yeah.
Man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of so it's kind of like league driven too. Like if a league is a little bit better, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But if you're in like a bad league, you just kind of like go down the list where you're like, well, that one was tarantulas, that one was scorpions, that one didn't have AC,
Yeah.
that one
Like
had
widows
this
and
one had snakes.
Stockton.
Like, you just kind of like go down and there's something crazy
Well,
about
that's
every
kinda
single one.
That's
of them.
honestly how the CPO was.
Yeah.
All those years.
Where was y'all's favorite place?
Bacon
Yeah.
was terrible.
Holly Springs was the best.
Holly
Where's that?
Turf
Other
field,
than our home field.
Where's Holly Springs at? Is that?
North Carolina, South Carolina?
I think it's North Carolina. Yeah.
It was all turf.
All turf, dude.
Uh-huh.
Really nice stadium. I think somebody else, like a college team, played there or something too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but their field was really nice. Yeah, all turf.
And then y'all had one of the nicer
Grayson?
spots. Yeah. Was it?
Everybody liked to play Grayson because we would sell our games out.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
everywhere else we went was just there was like five
Right,
people. So
yeah.
it was
Boring. And then Reggie hyping y'all up.
Reggie, bro. Reggie
Yeah.
get us going, man.
Yeah. Can't wait to get Reggie in here
I'll
either.
never get this CPO.
Oh, that'd be good.
Can't wait to get Reggie in here. That's awesome. God.
When we played in Wyoming in that, it was me and Rack in that, it was the Expedition League, is what it's called. And we were talking about food and whatnot. And there was this place called Pizza Ranch. You ever heard of that?
Oh yeah, Pizza Ranch. It was like connected to a gas station
Yes.
sometimes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so when we first started traveling, it was like the first 2 weeks, we stopped at Pizza Ranch pretty much every road trip on the way. And we're like, hey, like, we gotta eat here. Actually, it's probably like the first 2 weeks, we probably stopped like 4 times because we played it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, we gotta eat there a lot, you know? And and we got to the point where we're like, we hate Pizza Ranch.
Yeah.
We had it 4 days a week, and then like if you didn't have it at lunch, it was catered after the game. And like thank you, they fed us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Which is great. But we would literally have like we'd play in Minot, North Dakota, and then we'd have like a 15-hour drive back to. Yes, bro. We'd have like a 15-hour drive back to. Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Literally Narnia.
Minot was 6.
Narnia.
I think it was Astoria Field. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
It was like football stadium around there. But anyways, and we played there. But then we'd have like a 15-hour drive back. We were the only team in Wyoming, so we drove far everywhere. And but I remember we'd be driving, like sometimes I wouldn't have service for like 2 weeks playing where we played at. I know these like random cities out there, but we'd be driving and it'd be like, we'd sleep through the night heading back to Wyoming, and it'd be like lunchtime, and we're just like, where are we gonna stop? And like there's nothing around us, but there'd be one restaurant, and it was Pizza Ranch, always, every time. And like it got to the point where like some of the guys like wouldn't even get off the bus, but they would skip food.
We stopped at 7-Eleven.
Yeah, they wouldn't even eat, bro. Like they would get like
Yeah, they did.
huh?
Yeah.
You played with rack?
Yeah.
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 That's fun.
Yeah.
Man.
It was a
Grinders, bro.
yeah, that was cool. The first day I met Rack, I was talking to him on my follow my Instagram. His name was Cruising California. And it was all photography pages.
Yeah, that was
and,
like his
what's
first
up?
passion. So
yeah,
he still
yeah.
does it.
And that's why he's like so good. I feel like
Yeah.
he did that. And
Yeah.
but I remember we stopped. We were in the Black Hills in South Dakota, and we were stopping at Mount Rushmore randomly. And it was me and my buddy Rack and Tyson and Brady. And oh no, Brady wasn't there because he got hit in the eye, like broke his orbital bone like the week before. But Tyson, it was me and Tyson and Rack, and we started talking about music, whatever. And Rack liked the same people that I like. He also liked Taylor Swift a lot, which I thought was random, but like now it's a little more normal. I feel like.
Yeah.
But we liked that, and then instead of like hiking up to actual Mount Rushmore, we just like hiked kind of off the beaten path, found a cool little spot. Rack was taking photos and everything, and then me and him and Tyson were like clicked like that, and we're just best friends the whole rest of the summer and stuff.
That's what's up.
And then kept in touch with Rack, and then I didn't see him again until I got invited to his wedding, but I couldn't make it to his wedding. But then I saw him again like his first day he came back here, and we talked on the phone prior to it or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's cool to like play with him again.
Yeah, that's tight.
I was supposed to play shortstop, and I think he was coming in to play second, and my arm was still hurt from that Cookman, and so that's why I asked if I could play second. And then Rack came in, and Rack played short, and then so we just stayed there the whole year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
To go off, you were saying some of your favorite places, and this is like a two-way story. The first part, we used to play this team, the Catawba Valley Stars.
Catawba Valley Stars.
We called
That
them,
Bill. Look at
we called them the Catawampa Soldiers. And these guys were not very good. And they paid to play there in the summer, and their coach was an older guy, nice guy, guy, and he put every player lived in his house. And I don't think the house was probably much bigger than this.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
And I'm not kidding, they all told us. So we used to be like, oh my gosh, we're playing the Soldiers tonight. Like, we didn't want to be there. And this is a true story. They had a kid, you might have to cut this out. I'm just telling you guys. They had a kid that pitched that was a little off. And, dude, he shoved it up every time he pitched. I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating. He would throw like 180 pitches, and Gillum would be going nuts. He's like,
Calling him.
he's like, you guys can't get up for this game. Like, you're fine with just losing to these guys. And if he threw 180 pitches and let up 27 balls in play, every single one of them was a ground ball.
Yeah.
He was throwing 7 different pitches, and we just couldn't hit him.
man.
And to transition from that was the first game of banana ball we ever played, was against the Catawampa Soldiers. They drove.
Says it so naturally.
Yeah, they drove down like 6 hours, and their coach is super baseball purist, like, just wants to play baseball.
Yeah.
And Jesse, I'll never forget it. Jesse goes up to Gillum and goes, we're playing banana ball tonight. And Gillum goes, well, did you tell them that? And he's like, oh, no, I didn't tell them. And this is like 30 minutes before the game.
Yeah.
So the Soldiers and their colonel,
We can't cut this out, bro.
they don't know we're playing banana ball. 30 minutes till game time. So at this time, like, it's crazy where we're at, because none of us, like, we're not thinking in 6 years we're going to be playing banana ball as our, full-time occupation.
Yeah.
So Jesse has this whole vision, and we're, like, running wild with it. Like, Nick Clarno, our roommate, is at first base, holding his glove in his mouth, doing high knees, fielding ground balls barehanded, and, like, chucking them into the net. And Jesse's freaking out, and Gillum's like, Jesse, this is your baby. Like, we don't know what to do.
Right.
I mean, Bill's hitting lefty. I'm swinging one-handed. Like, nobody knows what to do. And it just like where we're at now compared to thinking to that game, like, it's insane.
The Soldiers, bro. Everybody needs to hear that.
Yeah.
About the Soldiers. That's right, bro.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Funny. I feel like we all had our team that was the Catawampa Soldiers we played against. And just did us dirty.
Everybody.
Everybody's got that one team, bro.
I mean, the whole time we've heard that story a bunch,
Yeah.
like, all the time. But I would have never known that it was the
The Texas Airhawks with the Catawampa Soldiers of the American Association, bro. Or preseason in the AA, we would play like Dogecoin. California Dogecoin. Yeah. 2019, I'm like, wow, I could have at least invested. You know what I'm saying? We in Fargo, North Dakota. We got a preseason game coming, guys. California Dogecoin. And it's a dog. It was a dog in a coin.
And you get so used to like guys like loading up the buses, getting off the buses, coming in, leaving, and like we're leaving the game, and these dudes are getting undressed in the parking lot and like getting in their cars, and I'm like, "Did you drive here?" And he's like, "Yeah, from California." We're in North Dakota.
The Houston Apollos, they come through. I mean, the hardest pitchers were maybe 84, and if it was a close game, you like. I gotta think about this, I gotta rethink what I'm doing. And they just go out in the Ford Transit, they all hop in, and they're like, see you later, bro, we're going to Texas, we're going to Cleburne. I'm like, dang.
They got players driving because they don't have
grinding,
coaches.
Bro, grinding.
One coach for like 20 dudes, so the players are driving each other down.
Talking about perspective, like, dude gets on first base, like, where are you from? He's like, bro, I just flew in here from Canada. I'm just playing today. I'm just trying to get a job. I'm like, that is wild.
That's crazy.
That's wild to think about.
And that's pro ball.
Pro ball.
Yeah, and they scramble too, which is hilarious. Getting a job in pro ball is so hard, and like you're calling these teams, and you're just like begging. You're like, dude, I played 5 years of affiliate ball. Like, how can I not get a job in indie ball?
Right.
And like third day there, some like D3 kid shows up, and you're like, how did you get here?
They're like, he's a rookie. He's cheap. We can sign him cheap.
Rookie salaries are down.
Rookie
We got
salaries
vets. You
are
have to
low.
match vets and rookies.
Yeah,
and like
man.
this kid, like they'll show up and they'll play like one inning, and then they're like,
That's the funniest thing, though. You got to restart everywhere. I go through the Rockies org. I won Player of the Year in 2014, and I'm like top 10 prospect in their organization for a couple years. Get out of there, go to the Rangers, restart. Like, who are you? Where are you from? No, you're with Texas now. Like, you're not our guy. Get the double A with them. You'll let go. Go back to indie ball with the Airhawks. Restart. I'll go 0 for 4 in indie ball. It's like,
who's this guy?
come on, son. Can you hit? Yeah. Are you hard in it? You know what I'm saying? It's baseball, right? Yeah. You just reestablish yourself. Come to banana ball. I'm like, I had 6 games of banana ball. I told all the dudes on the visitors, I'm like, hey, bro, you gotta play well. Like, you got 6 games sample size. If I would have struggled those 6 games, it might have been like, I don't know. I don't know if he can play banana ball. Ball is hard. The game is hard. You got to do well when you get that opportunity, man.
Talk about coaches saying that. I played for a guy Skip Fight. Great guy. Old. He was very old. And I was hitting like 360, leading the team in homers. And we come up to the field, and he's like, all right, guys, we're facing cold weights. He's in the big leagues now. He's like, it's 28 degrees, and he's going to be throwing about 97. Oh. He's like, see what you can do. So I go out my first at-bat, and I K on 3 pitches. Mm-hmm. And I come back to the dugout, and like I'm hitting 3-hole every game, blah, blah, blah. And he comes up to me and said, Dan, can you see it, man? He said, I have an even better one when we played Bill's team. He said, Dan, can you see it, man? I said, yeah, Skip, I can see it, but I just swung through it 3 times. He said, do I need to pull you? I said, no, go ahead and leave me in. But to transition off that, we're playing Bill's team, North Georgia. Kyle and Bill are both on the team, and they bring in this kid, Parker Morrison, who at the time, he was very good. Yeah. I think he kind of downtrended because we ended up hitting him around his last year. I think they might have overthrew him. But he comes in like the 11th inning. And I was hurt.
Never played nine.
I was hurt. I ended up coming in to pinch hit in like the 15th inning off of Kyle. But anywho, I'm sitting in the dugout, and I see this kid walking out to the mound. And Skip turns to our assistant coach, Jeff, and he looks at him and goes, Jeff, he goes, we ain't hit a foul ball off this. He goes, We ain't hit a foul ball off this motherfucker in 3 years. He struck out 9 guys in a row.
Oh my god.
9 in a row. I swear to God. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, oh my, he struck out 9 guys in a row.
That's hilarious. We ain't hit a
And he's throwing just like Trevor Bauer, like the same motion. And I'm like, oh my God, nobody's hit a foul ball off this guy. I'm not playing. I'm just watching. Like, this guy's the real guy.
It's the best when you're out that game.
Yeah.
You're like, that's funny.
It's so funny because it's true, bro.
But like the way he said it, I'm like, well, I'm glad you got confidence in us, dude. And then, wow. People coming in and out of the dugout. I'm like, yeah, we ain't hit a foul ball off him
the
tonight.
bass now, like, wait the bass.
And we beat Dan.
Yeah.
We beat Dan in like the 16th inning.
Oh,
Because I tagged up from second base and scored.
from second.
Dude, I can't.
True story, bro.
Yeah.
The only reason I got a second is because this sky ball to the catcher and he dropped it. Next pitch I hit a double. Fly ball to left, he trips and falls and catches it. I scored for second.
Dude, I had been like struggling.
We could have won. They could have won, but you can tell the story too.
I had been struggling bad. I was struggling, then I got injured. I almost ended up taking a medical red shirt. It was just like a big up and down year.
Oh man.
So we went to like the 15th or 16th inning, and Skip's like, "Can you hit?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can hit." So I go up and Kyle's pitching, and I hit a ball with an aluminum bat about as hard as I could physically hit a baseball on a line at their first base.
Bases loaded.
And
Bases
yeah,
loaded,
it's
put it
tie
in.
game. We're the home team. And the first baseman just like ducks his head and throws his glove up and goes like this and he catches
Hand
it.
feels in.
And I'm begging for a hit. Let alone a walk-off game winner. Like, I would take a swing and bunt, hustle. Like, I am begging for a hit. And this guy catches it. And I remember, they didn't know who I was. Like, we hadn't played together. And I walked out of our dugout. Our cages are next to left field, and there's a huge fence. And I just went and leaned my head up against the fence for like 5 minutes. Because I was so just like depressed. Dude. I was like, oh, for my last 26. And I hit a ball like 110, and the first baseman just smacks it.
Bases loaded.
And then they won.
Nobody out.
Nobody out.
And
It
then
filled in.
they win the game.
And hits one 127 miles an hour off the bat.
hilarious.
Our first baseman, luckily, Jake Arnold, got his head
Down.
and it hit him right in the forehead. He got it behind his head.
But
All right,
almost knocked him down.
last story.
Almost killed him, knocked him down.
Last story.
And then we get out of the inning. We
promise.
ground ball back to Kyle. We turn a 1, 2, 3, go away to get out of the inning.
Last.
And then I hit a fly ball to the catcher and
We'll
he
end-
gets dropped. Zach scored from second.
We'll end.
We
with
got a
this.
fight. Almost got a fight after the game.
Oh yeah, they did.
Kate Marlowe.
Kate Marlowe.
Got hit by Parker Morrison that struck out 9 straight. They thought we hit him on purpose. He's the fastest dude in the world.
Like, bro,
He's the fastest. He's 28 for 28 stolen bases.
Last
I'm only got him
one.
out that whole year.
Last
In the first 16 inning game we had against him.
Yeah.
2 months before when it was 9 degrees and snowing.
We're capping it
This
with
is
this.
another story.
This is gonna
We're
get.
and told me his name was
No, it's gonna get crazier. It's gonna get crazier. It's gonna get crazier. This is the North Georgia, West Georgia. This is ending the episode for the night. So I told you about Skip Fight, our head coach. He's 85 years old. He's older. Our athletic trainer that year, his name is Trey Gaines. Awesome human being. Like one of the best people I've ever met. So we're at North Georgia. It's snowing like it was in Savannah last night. And we're driving back, and there's like news alerts going around that some guy robbed the store. So we're driving. This gets kind of dark. It's like
Now we're going home.
Yeah, we're driving back to Carrollton. It's like thief is considered
You're not gonna believe
dangerous.
it. You're not gonna believe it. Even after he tells
It's like thief is considered armed and dangerous. Like, they're putting out rewards if you find them. So we're driving down the highway.
This ain't
and all,
funny. This ain't funny.
all of a sudden, you just feel on the bus, so boom! And we're all like, holy! It's like 4 a.m. We played that for 16 innings.
Wait, that's the game.
Yeah. So we're driving home, and the bus goes silent, and we all realize we just smoked a guy on the highway. So from the front of the bus, you just hear Skip Fight go, man, Trey, go check on him. The trainer. So our trainer gets off the bus on the middle of the highway. Finds the guy, and sure, we hit the guy that robbed the store and killed him. Our bus killed the guy after we played that.
Bro. Come on.
I swear. Ask Bill. It was all over the news. I swear to God. And that's the first episode of the Marinators.
And that's karma.
I swear to God, it's true story.
Oh my gosh.
I swear to God.
That's crazy.
Karma to the nth degree.
Trey, go check on him.
Trainer!
Francis.
It was the suspect.
It was him.
It was the suspect. I gotta ask Kyle. Bro, when Kyle gets on here, we gotta ask Kyle about that. When he get
True
on.
story.
Bro.
True story.
Oh my goodness. That is crazy.
Oh, thank you for that.
He said, man, go check on him. It's
Trey,
an
go
old
check
head-
on him, man.
Just an old head move. Like, oh, hell. Like, go check on him. Go check on that
That's
man.
alright.
Wow.
True story.
So true, man.
I guess you guys need to know that.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that's it. You can't top that.
You got to. Wow. That's crazy.
One time we went to play West Georgia and left the sprinklers on. It was so cold it froze the whole field.
We played at Carrollton High.
Played at Carrollton High School. At the high school. We played the high school field on the street. Because the sprinklers froze that field and it froze the whole field. We couldn't play. It's freezing cold.
Come on, man.
Dude, one time in preseason, we were playing one of our preseason games. They put us at this like high school.
The picket fence. Not even a picket fence, bro. It was a wooden. It was one of them wooden fences.
It was like 190 feet.
It had the spokes on the top.
17 home runs.
Yeah.
It was like in the middle of
Sioux
were you in
City.
Nebraska?
Sioux City.
Iowa.
Oh no, we're playing Nebraska City at like the little swimming pool park.
Ooh,
Dude, we went to this like community park
Community park.
with this field and
We getting our work in, bro.
We got merry-go-round.
It was.
Dude,
It was
so
water slide right
funny,
there.
dude.
It was like a field you build on MVP
oh
show or
my
something.
gosh. Was that
It was
preseason?
preseason. We played at Lincoln there, and
Dude,
it was
that
like
was
190,
awesome.
220 to left, and the
John, I
townies
wonder
are
if
there.
was Delano there?
No, maybe.
If he was,
We
that's
gotta
gonna be
ask Barry
hilarious.
too. Kyle Barry. he might have been.
my
Yeah,
God.
Delano, we played him at any ball.
We got to do this more often.
Bro.
We played at Claflin. Claflin had 2 light poles in the field.
Yeah, on the
Yeah,
field.
on the field.
You
2
was
light
just
poles.
dodging him while you're
Yeah.
running.
That is crazy, bro.
Oh, man.
That's funny. Y'all killed the suspect. Got whooped, but did your due diligence all the way home.
That's a
So
phenomenal.
did you have to stay and the cops came, or
Oh yeah, it was the whole thing.
really?
Dude.
Yeah.
That is
Then what
crazy.
happened to the bus driver? Anything? You just
No, I mean the guy just like ran out of the bushes, bro. We're on the highway and he just sprints out of the bushes, boom.
That is
And then,
crazy.
it's a huge thing.
It's
Like,
crazy
on-
y'all
you
heard
could
about
Google
the
it.
story before you even
You
left.
could Google
Like,
it.
Literally.
Wow.
It's a true, completely true story.
Crazy.
so bus driver didn't have to go to jail. He's all right. Just
No, I mean it wasn't his fault. The
Yeah,
guy
He's
just
a hero.
It was like a it was like a deer ran across the road. The guy like came out of the forest and just ran into our bus.
Crazy.
He ran into us.
yeah.
He won a prize.
He had a lot of witnesses, which is kind of nice.
But then the last time we played North Georgia, we beat up on him, and
Yeah.
our coach, another old school guy, Bill and Kyle, told me, he said, we will never play West Georgia again. They want to run the score up on us. For the last
used to
10
love
times we
that,
played
bro.
you, it's been 17 innings. So
I
it's
used to
nice to
love
just,
that.
you know.
That's like every team I played for, man, growing up, we were just awful. The worst team.
Yeah.
And we played, it was like my second year on the big field. And we're playing against this team. It was I forget the name of it, but I was on the Sandlot Sluggers. We were just bad, like terrible. And I'm playing first. The score's like 24-1. And it ended up being 24-1. But I had this old school coach, Dwayne Brown, man, the funniest dude alive, like just the funniest guy in America. This old school black dude. He was like, Carell, he said, next time one of them steal and you don't trip him, I'm gonna beat you. If another one of them steal and you don't trip him, I'm gonna be They ran it up on us, bro. They ran it up. They were stealing, bro. It was like, I'm playing back. They stealing. Bam. He's like, they gone. They gone. Crazy. Just like, what are you teaching kids, bro? They whooped us, dog. This is crazy. Golly. I'm sure, yeah, we can go for on and on and on about stories, man. Wow. That's funny. We can end it. That's fine.
Thank you, Hope.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed listening into all that. It's definitely pure. It's us.
Yeah. Do you guys want to give like an outro? Promote yourselves.
Just let me resume.
I'd say that was a great first
Mine's
session.
gonna be messed up. That's positive.
I also still have mine running though. So.
Oh, okay.
But you guys can if you want. I don't need it.
Thanks for joining the Marinators.
First one's in the book.
Sponsored by Habitat.
Shout out to Happy
Shout out to the
Happy
Habitat, man.
Happy Tat.
And our guest / co-host.
See y'all next time.
Yeah.